Brian, it's been a wee while since we last spoke. A lot has happened at the club in that time. Firstly, Jens has been in post now for a couple of months. It's been a very positive start. What's it been like working with him, and what do you make of the start he's made at the club?
Yeah, he's been brilliant, to be honest with you. Really impressed with how he set up his team, the football we're playing. Very switched on, understands the budget as well, which is really important. And yeah, we're really pleased with the start we've made. Hopefully we can get some 3 points, some wins now. But no, I think everybody's been really impressed around the club of how he goes about his business, very professional in everything he does. So I think that's really important. We're really pleased with so far.
A lot has been made about the style, the difference in play, and how different the team looks. Received a lot of praise from across, up and down the country from a range of clubs. Was that one big reason why you wanted to bring Jens to the club? Was that style of play and that different approach to the game?
I think when we met Jens back in the summer, we spoke for hours on so many different things, and obviously style of play was important, yes, but so was winning games. But yeah, I think it was really important we get somebody that comes in and wants to play attractive football that the supporters will want to come and see. And you said it there, but the reaction of so many people around football, not necessarily Motherwell related, who are all very impressed with how he's set up his team and the style of football that we're trying to play.
It's been a busy summer. There's also a lot of new faces integrating into the team. Yeah. The deadline is approaching us on Monday night. Can we expect more movement from the club in terms of incomings and outgoings? Yeah,
I think the last few days we're actually in a good place, I feel. I think Jens feels that too. We're actually in a really good place. There might be potentially one more coming in. There might be one or two go out. But I think we're generally quite happy with how the squad's shaping up. We've gradually picked off most weeks, and this goes right back to back to June when we started bringing players in. So we've picked off a good number of players. I think everybody's been impressed with the new signings that we've made, and that's the style of football is important. Jens is very particular about the type of player he's looking for, the identity of what he's actually wanting when he's recruiting. But I think everybody's seen the signings he's brought in have all been very, very good.
The new board, the new executive board at the club have been very open with and transparent with the new ideas that they wanted to bring to the table. One idea that did actually happen was the Hertha Berlin friendly back in the summer there. What was the rationale behind that friendly taking place, and would you have classed that as a success?
Yeah, it was something that we apparently from prior to me, but Motherwell haven't had a lot of pre-season glamour, if you like, glamour friendlies or good friendlies. Part of that is caused by the League Cup playing so early in July doesn't help, but we managed to agree with the SPFL that we could have that, our games played prior to that Saturday, that weekend before the season started. Obviously Kirk's got a relationship through his father-in-law with Hertha Berlin, and there was an opportunity to bring them over. I think it was a really successful night. Financially it probably wasn't as good as we expected it to be, but I think we have to try these things to see how it works. And I think everybody who came along enjoyed, a good game of football for a pre-season game, especially. It was decent entertainment, something different, and to 500 Germans in Motherwell too, I'm sure it boosted the local economy somewhat too.
You've been very vocal since you arrived at the club about wanting a strong connection with the supporters. The club put out a second survey back in the summer as well. What were the results like from that, and what can we take from that going forward?
I think there's, I was really pleased with where we had over 1,000 people responded to that fan survey. It's so important that we look at feedback. There is actually so much detail in it. We've shared it internally amongst the staff and the various departments. And listen, there's always learnings. You can, there's things that in the match day experience, for example, that supporters pick up that we might not see. There's a lot of good feedback. There's a few things that we've picked up already that we probably need to promote more to try and make people understand, what's going on, what's happening. Things like having your Apple Wallet or your Google Play, whatever it's called, that you can have your season ticket in that. With low percentages are actually utilising that facility. Supporters buses going to away games is something that I feel quite strongly about, that we should be trying to do that as regularly as possible, try and encourage and make it easier for supporters to get to away games. We've tried that last season and we've been trying to do it again this season, which I think is important too, and being successful. There's so much feedback to go through. It does take a bit of time just to go through everything, and we'll make sure that every single piece of feedback that we've got from the 1,000 people who filled it in is taken seriously and looked at.
Moving on to a next big part for the club is obviously the season tickets and renewals and trying to get new faces through the door. It's been a good start on the pitch. How has it been in terms of season ticket renewals? Are we at the target? Are we at where we want to be?
Well, we've gone over 4,000 this week, which is pleasing. We still expect a few more before Saturday, obviously with the first game of the season being against Rangers. We appreciate that some people don't necessarily want to renew their season ticket for that because they probably won't come. But then again, we did have over 6,000 home fans at that game, which is phenomenal. We want to try and grow the fan base. For me, it's also really important to look at new season ticket holders. I think the last time we looked, it was over 300 new season ticket holders, which is really important too. We then look at the demographics, we'll analyse the figures. Hopefully we'll get a few more before the Kilmarnock game on Saturday as well. And listen, they'll buy half season tickets as well. We've not got another home game until the end of September, so I think people who are looking at it, you can save money and buy a season ticket before the Kilmarnock game.
There's been a lot happening away from the pitch. Obviously, Lennon Miller moving on to Udinese for a club record transfer fee. The club have also announced today that David McFarlane has joined the executive board. What has it been like in the boardroom the last few weeks?
Yeah, there's so much going on at all times, to be honest with you. We are a really tight group between us. David strengthens that again, brings us back up to 6 board members. Obviously, there's the money from Lennon going to be coming in over the next wee while, which is important that there's so much of us looking at what we can do with the money to invest in the long-term future of the football club. So having an extra body in there helps. Also brings the Welsh Society representatives back up to 2, which again, there's, our board meeting, we had a board meeting the other day, it was over 6 hours, which tends to be normal, because there's just so much going on at the football club that we're very invested in it and we all want the best. So it's important that we all continue to work as hard as we have over the last number of weeks and months and continue that focus going into the future.
The manager alluded to the Lennon Miller money coming in and there being a long-term plan behind the scenes that he was firmly behind. Can you give any light on that? Is it a long-term, is it a slow process of using that money the way we see right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy to throw all the money to the football budget, which I don't think actually helps you long-term. We need to look at infrastructure, we need to look at the future of the football club. We're not going to have a Lennon Miller every year to rely on for the finances. So we are considering long-term options and how we invest that money for the future benefit of the football club.
Just finally, Brian, there's a big match upcoming in September, the quarter-final against Aberdeen. Supporters buses, the club said that there might be supporters buses. Are you able to shed some light on that? And is there any plan around the ticket sale going on anytime soon? Yeah,
well, we've been in negotiations, shall we say, with Aberdeen this week. I don't necessarily agree with the pricing, so we've had a number of communications back and forward, and hopefully we can announce the ticket prices soon on that. We do hope to run at least one bus to that game too, try and encourage supporters to come along, because it's another massive opportunity for us to get back to Hampden, same as last year for our semi-final.
Thanks for your time, Brian.
Thanks, Scott.